What's up guys, Intentional back with yet another video, and this one's going to be a more structured guide to being a Moonkin in classic World of Warcraft. So without any further ado, let's just hop into it. Right off the bat, we're just going to dive into the talent tree. Now there's a really basic layout for the build you're going to go for, with a few points going to wherever you want to specialize them. Now we're just going to go through and grab every talent that actually does something for the spells we are going to use. Then we're going to head over to the Restoration tree, where you're going to grab Improved Mark of the Wild. What you choose next to get to the third row of talents is up to you. I personally go with Improved Healing Touch because I tend to have to hop out of Moonkin form and get some off heals going, just in case a healer does die in a raid. Last in the Restoration tree, and what is mandatory, is the Reflection talent. We simply need mana regeneration. There's no way around it, and that 15% is just very nice. Now, you should have 3 talent points left, and you can choose quite a few places to put them in. I personally go for Insect Swarm, mainly used in 5-mans and PvP, rarely ever used in raids due to the number of debuff spots, and other debuffs simply having higher priority. I then put the rest of mine into Thorns to help give my tank a little bit more threat. You can choose to go with a few other choices though, such as Furor. This is great in surprise scenarios in PvP and in raid situations where a tank might die and you have to pop bear form to take over for a little bit. Nature's Grasp is another choice. This one is mainly for PvP use since it is only usable outside, and it is my personal last choice to everything else I'm going to mention. And then you have Improved Entangling Roots, which again has its uses, but I find as a druid there are many more options to get out of a situation in which you are being attacked, and casting Entangling Roots while an armed warrior is slamming you, for example, may not be the best. Maybe pop cat and then swiftness or whatever else. I just don't really see this talent being worth it. And then you have the Feral talent. I see both being good in emergency situations, like stated before, having to switch to bear form in case aggro is taken. Now as far as stats go, your priority is going to be number 1 hit. We don't get any hit from the talent, so we have to get our hit to the 16% hit cap from gear and only gear. 12% is the soft cap, and you want to aim for that on trash mobs. I'll delve more deeply into this later on. Then we got Spell Crit. Spell Crit is pretty essential to Moonkins, not only for the damage, but because we can proc Nature's Grace from it, which will reduce our next cast time by 0.5 seconds, allowing us to dish out more spells, which means more damage. Next is Spell Power, of course, and you want to make sure your spells are hitting pretty damn hard, so I think this one is a given. Next is Intellect, and this is actually pretty on par with Spell Power for a few reasons. For one, we Moonkins love to chug our mana, so the more mana we have, the better. On top of that, Intellect also increases our chance to crit. I'm not sure on the value for it when it comes to retail Classic WoW, so I'm not going to go throwing out numbers that aren't accurate. But it does increase the chance, which means more damage overall. Now, you want to get a pretty good balance of everything, and only go overboard on the hit because you have to. But, for example, if you're stacking spell power like crazy, switch out a few pieces for crit gear, or even more intellect if a piece drops with a crazy amount of it. Now, as far as your rotation, it's pretty damn simple. Keep Moonfire up, and spam Starfire. Boom, you win. Of course, there's a lot of thinking that does go into it, however. For example, you're constantly watching your mana, so if you can't afford the Moonfires, just skip them, and do Starfire. As your mana goes down, D-rank your Starfire, so you're still dishing out damage. I personally D-rank to rank 5, then rank 1 depending on my mana. And know your dungeon/raid group. Learn their DPS. If a trash mob dies fast, don't go for a Starfire. Start dishing out rats, and skip Moonfire entirely. This is really where bad Moonkins and good Moonkins really show, which ones know how to read a fight and use the spells that are needed for it. As far as gear, I actually have a Phase 1 Best in Slot guide video that I'll have linked in the description down below. I'll also be releasing videos alongside it with each phase best in slot before the phase actually releases, so look forward to that. Now as far as enchants, I'll link what I personally use. Now some of these will not be out at launch, and some enchants a few people actually disagree with. I think the one I've gotten in several debates over is the ZG enchants over the plus 8 spell damage enchant from Dire Maul. Many see the plus healing and all think it's useless for Moonkins, but my argument is we are not pure damage. We do off heal, and the Intellect is nice for extra mana and overall crit. And Stamina is nice for situations where mobs are going to be on you, which will happen as a Moonkin. Our threat is just ridiculous. and I'll take all that over the simple damage increase any day of the week personally. However, this is your character and you can focus on whatever you want. This is just my personal opinion. Alright, now here's a list of the consumables that I use. There's not much to say about this other than I hope you're ready to grind like crazy. As far as professions, tailoring and alchemy is my go-to for the simple fact that tailoring is needed for the Bloodvine set bonus, which is best in slot for us Moonkins. Although it won't be available at launch, so you do have time to level something else if you want. As far as alchemy, it just saved me a lot of gold over time. Although you do need an alt with herbalism, I personally don't see this as a big deal, because you can use that alt for gold making. Plus, you just gotta do what you gotta do as a Moonkin. And that's really all I can think of at the moment. If you're looking for more information on being a Moonkin Classic, I'll have my other guide linked down below. It isn't as structured as this one, but I do go more in depth on how to improve yourself as a Moonkin. I'll also be doing another video soon where I go through dungeons and maybe even a raid as a Moonkin, and just kind of ramble and give pointers as I go. Anyhow, I hope you liked this, and I hope it was helpful at least someone out there. And if you liked the video, please leave a like. It really does help. And if you want to see more content like this from me, hit that subscribe button. Anyhow, I hope you all have a good one. Peace.